Welcome to the Haunted Hangover Podcast. I'm Louie, and as always, I'm joined by my bud Dave.
Hey.
And we're also joined today by a special guest, Optimus Grimes, aka Grimy, from itsdemboys.com. Welcome to the show, Grimy.
Thanks, Louie. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Woo.
Of course, dude. We've been talking about having you on for a while. You know, you've been a big supporter of the podcast and Haunted Hangover in general, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's our pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So, I know you listened to us, so you already know what I'm going to hit you with, what question I'm going to hit you with. And the first question is, what exactly do you do over at itsdemboys.com?
Okay, so back in, I think it was, 2019, I wrote a little review for It's Dem Boys. Actually, it wasn't for It's Dem Boys, it was on Instagram. It was just a random article on Instagram. So I wrote about cotton candy Captain Crunch cereal. Have you seen that before?
I've had it before. I hated it.
Yeah, it was different. But anyway, so I wrote something on there, and Zach and Derek noticed it, and they were just getting ready to launch this blog that they were doing, and they asked me to write some stuff for them. So I said, why not? I've been kind of collecting things, not just junk food, but like VHS and comic books and games and toys and stuff like that. And I figured, why wouldn't I just give it a shot? And so, yeah, I mean, here we are now. Write all kinds of stuff for them, not just junk food articles, but like nostalgia articles and toy reviews, but mainly like junk food reviews for sure.
What is it about junk food that you love? Like, what's the what like drives you to it? What is it about it that just you're enamored with? Because I've read a bunch of your articles, and when I go on the site, like, you put a lot of detail into them, dude. It's almost like a like when you read like a restaurant review, when someone like critiques like a pasta or some shit. I don't know, But like, what is it about junk food that you love so much?
It's kind of tough to write about junk food. You can only think of so many ways to tell someone how something tastes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's just exciting. There's always something new. You get on Instagram every other day, and the big Insta foodies are throwing up the next big thing that's in the supermarkets, and it's kind of a thrill. It's almost like every time I go to the grocery store or wherever I'm going, it's like I'm looking for that next new toy or whatever. Like, here's this.
You're hunting.
Fucking. Yeah, absolutely. It's
I get it.
Completely the same thing.
The next blue Twinkie or some shit. That's.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's like going to a thrift store and going to the VHS section, hoping that somebody came in and unloaded their entire fucking collection.
You're
trying
absolutely
to find
right,
something.
dude.
I get it.
And what about Halloween? Like, what's special about Halloween for you personally?
Oh man, I guess the better question is what's really not to like about Halloween?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not really sure what age you guys are.
Oh, I'll tell you right away. I'm 37. I'm going to be 38 on February 28th.
Right on.
I'm 34, so.
Okay, so we're pretty close in age. I'm gonna be 32 in May. So in our generation, it was a little bit different, and I feel like we were predisposed to being huge fans of Halloween. We grew up with The Family Matters, Roseanne,
Definitely.
and The Simpsons. So this meant that we were gonna have one hell of a lineup for Halloween specials every season.
That's a great way of looking at that. I love that.
You know what I mean? We were hit with the best parts of Halloween. I don't feel like kids these days are near as into it, and I think it's because they don't have stuff like that. Aside from the Goldbergs and still the Simpsons somehow.
I know. Fucking 35 years later, and the Simpsons are still on.
Oh yeah, still loving it too.
The Goldbergs that's actually a really good example to use, because that is one of the few shows that are really keeping that vibe of when we were younger now. So it's definitely a good example.
For me, as a kid, Halloween was like a time where all the rules could be broken. You know what I mean? Like, you could dress up as a serial killer and carry a toy machete around, you could stay out past bedtime, you watch horror movies, and I wasn't usually allowed to watch horror movies any other time of the year. It was like Halloween was the day to do it. And you load up on junk food and all kinds of unhealthy shit, and like the parents and like adults and stuff seem to really kind of be okay with stuff like this. And nowadays it's a little bit different.
Dude, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I feel that, and I say this respectfully, I feel that things back when we were kids were a lot less sensitive than they are now. And I, and like I said, I say it respectfully because it's true. You could get away with walking around with a real knife in the 80s and the 90s. Like, you could get away with that.
And we've talked about it on the show before about how it feels different. But again, it's 2021, different world. It's like, we're not children. We're all, none of us are parents. As far as Grimy, you're not a dad,
no,
right?
No, nope, not yet.
I guess we don't know what it's like from like a parent's perspective. Maybe if we had kids of our own, we'd be like, oh, I get it. But
oh, yeah,
I really think that's where we're kind of disconnected with the whole like Halloween safety and how people are with their kids nowadays. But what can you do?
And listen, I'm not saying that it's not fine that things are more sensitive now. I'm just saying it was just that time. That time period was just different.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't get away with half of the stuff we did before.
Exactly.
Speaking of, like, adults being the ones who encourage these things, I feel like everyone had that one family member, uncle, aunt, cousin, brother, or whatever, who was, like, really into Halloween. And I have one of those, too. He was my uncle. So he would like have this little haunt himself, and he would dress up as Dracula, and he made this coffin himself, and he would lay in it. He'd dress, completely the part. He'd have like his arms crossed over his chest, and so he would lay there really, really still. And when people would approach him, he would kind of like slowly just like lift up off of the coffin, and it would scare the shit out of kids, but it was a blast. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think people are scared to scare kids now too. That's another thing
you're probably right.
But since we have you on the show today, we thought it would be perfect to talk about some discontinued Halloween junk food. And Grimy, since you're our guest, we're going to let you hit us with your pick.
Now you can get McDonald's Happy Meal pails for Halloween. There's a pumpkin pail, a witch, and a ghost that glows in the dark. You can get a different one each week until Halloween.
So my pick, and I might be reaching here with this one. It's not necessarily just a food item, but I would have to go with the McDonald's Halloween Happy Meals.
Oh, okay.
Classic.
So, Louie and Dave, how familiar with the Halloween Happy Meals are you, and which ones spoke to you the most out of all of them?
For me, the things I remember the most when it comes to like a McDonald's Halloween Happy Meal, 3 things come to mind. It's the little chicken nugget buddies that were like those costumes. That
McNugget buddies.
I actually own a set of the original, like series 1. I believe there were a few different series of those. The Boo Pails or whatever, which I know all 3 of us probably love those. And probably own 1 or 2 of them.
I have 3 of them. I have either the set from 83 or 85. I found them, all 3, on my garbage route.
That's amazing.
And I took them home and I washed them.
That's awesome.
And they are fucking awesome.
And the last thing, and this is probably more of a deep cut, was I remember, and I actually own this as well, they released a cassette that had like I think a Halloween song on it.
You're right.
And some like spooky sounds, and I actually still own that. There are 1 or 2 other things, but I don't want to hog them all up, So, what about you, Dave?
A lot of things, I cannot explain to you the things I remember and the things that I can't remember. I can't tell you that I can remember sitting at home and eating a McDonald's Happy Meal from Halloween. I know I've had them because I've had the toys. I know the chicken nugget toys. I've had them. So as far as that goes, it was there. It was in my life, but I can't think of a specific time about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's a little. Listen, I'm gonna throw a quick story in here that does involve McDonald's and Are You Afraid of the Dark? So,
Right on. Let's hear it.
and it was around Halloween time. So one time, my mom was getting her hair. I must have been about 11. So my mom was getting her hair cut in the house. She had one of her friends come over and cut her hair. It was Friday night. It was Snick, and they were showing the tale of, I think it's Cutter's Treasure. Was that the 2-part episode with freaking
Yeah.
Charles Dutton from Rock as the he was like.
Yeah.
So if I'm butchering the title, I apologize. But I remember being insanely excited because my mom had gotten me McDonald's before her friend came over to cut her hair. And I just remember her getting me like a Happy Meal and then like an extra 10-piece chicken nugget. I was like, yeah, this is going to be sick. And I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark? I enjoyed Snick and McDonald's, and it was amazing. So there you go. I'm making up for a lost memory with another memory that involves McDonald's.
Oh, that'll work though. What a great memory too.
I have a memory. I think a vague, very vague memory as well. Do you guys remember when they had those like? I believe this was after the Boo Pails and all that. They had these like vinyl bags with characters on them.
I have all 3 of those.
You have those as well?
Yeah.
I actually don't have that. I had the Frankenstein one.
Oh man, they are kind of gorgeous.
They're beautiful looking. Like I'd get one of them tattooed on me, honestly, if I could. I might, but yeah. So I vaguely remember, and I've mentioned this on the show before, that my elementary school had parades, and I'm pretty sure my mother took me to McDonald's after school, and I think I was dressed up as the Riddler from Batman Forever, if I remember correctly. I think my mom like spray painted my hair pink like Jim Carrey and everything. And I remember we went to McDonald's after school vaguely, and I think I used that vinyl bag as my trick-or-treat bag. I don't remember where we went trick-or-treating because we did go to different places. And I think I vaguely remember using that bag, and that bag is awesome, and I wish I still owned the original one or bought a new one. That might be something I have to do one day.
I actually got lucky and found all 3 of them at a Goodwill. They had like 1,000 of them just sitting there.
Yeah,
so I decided to get one of each.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's a good score. Yeah.
But anyone who isn't really familiar with the Halloween Happy Meals, they were a series of Happy Meals that were released on and off from like the mid 80s up until 2016, starting with 3 pumpkin pails and ending with I think it was the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown pails.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they had some like really strange pails in between. But in between all that, they had different toys and coupons, and they had the bags that we mentioned. I think one of the toys was like, what was it called? Something like, what am I going to be for Halloween or whatever, and it had like Grimace was a ghost, things like that.
I remember it was like Grimace, Ronald, what was it, Birdie? Was Birdie the bird? Yeah.
Yes.
And they had like little like snap-in-place costumes, right? That was the one you're talking about, right?
I have that Grimace one. The Grimace is a ghost. It's pretty awesome.
I don't have any of those. I have to get my hands on some of those.
Yeah. I just have the outside ghost of Grimace, and that's it.
They kind of remind me, and this isn't Halloween related, but I remember they did a similar thing with, I think, the Looney Tunes, and they were dressed up as superheroes.
I vaguely remember that.
I don't know if you guys remember that, and it was like the same snap-in-place costumes.
Yeah.
And those, like, just the whole concept of, like, it was almost like 2 toys. Like, you get the character, and then you get this costume. You just kind of like snap in place, and then it's funny because when you snap them in place and like leave them separate from the actual toy, it's almost like another toy. Mm-hmm. Those are really cool.
It's a good concept.
Yeah, it is. And back to the pumpkin pails. Back to those things. I actually, funny thing, Dave said you found. Oh, you said you found the original 3 in the trash, right, on your route. I recently found 2 of them in my apartment building's like the trash area. Someone left 2 from 2001 and I think I don't have them in front of me, but they have like the handles have little bats on them, and the actual pail has, I believe, all the McDonald's characters dressed up, and those were like when I found those, dude, I was so excited. I was like, "Fuck yeah, free!"
Yeah, you should be.
And I cleaned them. They even had the paper toppers. Remember that they would put like these like cardboard paper toppers on top, and both pails came with them. I'm gonna have to put up a picture on I've been meaning to put up a picture on our Instagram, but I haven't done it yet.
I have and they're very easily accessible. I have all three. I can just get them in 2 seconds. And then I have another one. One of the other ones Grimes was talking about with the So I know in my basement I have one of the Charlie Brown ones. So again, I found these on my sanitation route. But I have one of the newer ones that has like a pumpkin. So it's a pail, and it's got a pumpkin handle. I'd have to look at it. I'll probably take a picture of it so Louie can post it up on the on our Instagram. But it looks like it might glow in the dark, and I keep all my enamel pins in there.
Nice.
So,
were you saying that was one of the Charlie Brown ones?
No, so I have a Charlie Brown one. I think it's one of the parties. I forgot whose house they have the little party at when they're bobbing for apples and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's that scene, but I'm not sure where that one is. But the other one that I have, and again, I have to take it physically off of my desk because it's kind of buried in the back, and see which one it is. But I'm pretty sure it's just random characters from like the McDonald's world that are on it. I got to take a look.
It's probably the one that I found with all the characters around it.
I think it is.
More than likely. But going back to the whole concept of like a Halloween Happy Meal, why the hell did they stop doing it?
Yeah, I have no idea. I really don't. I think part of it was something I read a while ago that McDonald's was getting into a lot of trouble or something for making their own mascots. They're like toys, and like, you know, I guess it's has to do with people being sensitive. I guess I don't know. I'm really not sure with like.
I was just gonna say I think it can go back to what you said earlier about Halloween kind of being more of a thing when we were younger than now. I think that's just kind of the evolution of it was, okay, it's kind of falling out of place right now. That's kind of what I get from it. I think it's just not as popular as it was.
I also think it's just people are more health conscious now. And serving your kids like a burger, fries, and like a Coke isn't something people do with their kids anymore. Even though I'll be honest, I don't go to McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's I haven't had McDonald's like a Happy Meal in like 25 years probably. But it's, you know, I can see, and I believe now they have like apple slices and juice. Like they don't, like you have to ask to get a soda. But just the fact that they don't even have anything Halloween related is so strange now in 2021. Like what the boo pail, like the pails in general, those are kind of innocent. Like why not bring those back? And I get it, if they did bring them back, they'd be catering more to people our age. Because I know all of us would. I'd go to McDonald's, buy a Happy Meal, and dump out the content just to keep the pail, and that's it. So
of course,
it's tricky because McDonald's is looked at as like the bad guy now. Like ever since that movie Super Size Me came out.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to pin them as
Yep. So it's tricky because it's, you know. You want to have that nostalgia. You want to have, you know, if you have kids, you want to take them to McDonald's and get them the same Halloween Happy Meal or just a Happy Meal in general. But it's kind of frowned upon now. And I don't think that's necessarily true because there are families that still get like McDonald's every Friday, like once a week. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bring back the Happy Meal. Bring back the Halloween Happy Meal.
McDonald's breakfast is fucking fire, by the way. I never eat it, but I'll have it like maybe once every 4 months, and it's fucking good.
But anyways, so like for me, as far as the Halloween Happy Meals go, the two that stick out to me the most are the Pails for sure and the Halloween McNugget Buddies. And like to me, getting one of them, like it was kind of like the same feeling you got when you see Halloween costumes and candy and stuff in stores. You know, it kind of got you pumped up for what was coming.
Yeah, man. The commercials were amazing too. like the commercials for them. I remember like the McNugget Buddy. I feel like every fast food chain had a Halloween commercial. Pizza had fucking the Mr. Pizza guy, whatever his name was. The little pizza guy with the fake pizza? Not pizza face. That was all that. But
I forgot.
The little pizza man guy, and he had like his villain was
I know
like.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, they all had Halloween commercials. Burger King, and it's just weird because you don't see it at all now. But it does instantly just kind of take you back, and it was a special. Like those little nuggets were really special. Just their existence alone was like this great thing. That's why I think they're so memorable, because it was almost like a Toys R Us toy you were getting when you went to McDonald's. So
yeah, they were pretty interesting. I feel like what really killed a lot of the stuff was like the over stylization. Like they started making things a lot more over stylized, especially the Pails. Like they just became worse and worse every time they released a new one.
Yeah, I'm just surprised again, going back to what I said before, I'm just surprised they haven't brought just the Pails back, because I feel like just with nostalgia and everything, again, people our age would fucking go crazy and pick them up. So. Oh,
and they would, for sure. As a matter of fact, I did last year. I think it was, what was it? In November 2019, they did a retro Happy Meal promotion. They released a couple of different things. I think there was like Bugs Bunny from Space Jam. And then there was like a Beanie Baby, but they did 3 of the original McNugget Buddies, not from the Halloween line, but from like the old 88 line.
Yeah.
I think it was from 88.
Okay.
Where they were just like, I think there was like a firefighter and like a scuba diver or something like that.
A fucking scuba diving nugget.
Oh yeah,
Need
a
that.
scuba diver that not only was a scuba diver, but he had a flashlight and a pocket knife.
Oh, that's great. He has to fight a shark in the fucking ocean.
Yo, imagine if McDonald's made a King Curtis chicken nugget buddy.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Listen,
I'm surprised a lot more people aren't like customizing these to make different ones like that. You know, what I mean?
That is a good idea.
Listen, and
I'm shocked.
For any listeners out there that don't know who King Curtis is, go look that up. Just type in King Curtis chicken nuggets anywhere.
Count Chocula and Frankenberry meet the Fruity Yummy Mummy.
Hey, have a bite. It's new Fruity Yummy Mummy cereal.
Big, yummy marshmallows.
So monstrously big they're Monster Mellows. With Yummy Mummy Monster Mellows. Fruity Yummy Mummy makes your tummy go yummy.
Monster Mellows in Frankenberry, Count Chocula, and now new Fruity Yummy Mummy cereal. Part of this complete breakfast.
Makes your tummy go yummy.
So my pick is kind of a typical one. It's nothing too exotic, and I think most Halloween enthusiasts will appreciate what discontinued item or items I'm about to talk about, and that is the Fruity Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute. So these 2 cereals are part of the Monster cereal collection, along with Frankenberry, Count Chocula, and Boo Berry. Now here's some information on when each was released and discontinued, and brought back. So, Fruity Yummy Mummy was released in 1988 and discontinued in 1992. It was brought back once in 2013 and discontinued again in 2014. It basically lasted one Halloween season. The original was like a fruit-flavored cereal with vanilla marshmallows, and the 2013 relaunch was basically creamsicle, vanilla orange, with just normal, what are they called, Marbits, like the little marshmallows. That's the other name for I think that's how they're pronounced, right? The little marshmallows. They weren't flavored. Now the mascot for Fruity Yummy Mummy was a pink, purple, and yellow cartoon mummy. The design changed from the original to the relaunch. They altered the color palette, but it was basically those colors kind of mixed all together in his bandages. And he usually kind of just stood there over the bowl of cereal, really excited with his arms out. So now Fruit Brute, and I'm going to get into which one I prefer in a second. Fruit Brute was released in 1974 and discontinued in 1982. So Fruit Brute, I didn't even get to try its original run. Like I didn't even have it.
That's such a crazy time jump.
Yeah, it's a crazy I didn't even. Yeah, it's like a weird. It's like it was on the shelves for a while, but like none of us were born, so I have no idea what the original one tastes like. And it was brought back along with Yummy Mummy in 2013 and discontinued as well in 2014. They changed the packaging of Fruit Brute and they spelled fruit, Frute, for the re-release. That was just an artistic choice, I guess. I have, I don't know why.
It works.
I don't know why.
I
don't know why they did that, but they changed the spelling of Fruit Brute. So Fruit Brute's mascot was, I guess, a werewolf. He looks more like a dog who wears like these colorful overalls, and as well, he's really excited on the front of the cereal box, looking down at the cereal. So, I think you guys will agree with me that we're all massive fans of the monster cereals, right? Like, where do you guys stand when it comes to these cereals?
I absolutely love all of the monster cereals. The only thing I don't love is that I feel like the artwork on the boxes is completely underutilized nowadays. As far as I don't know, they're just not the same anymore. They're completely almost like the McDonald's Pails. They're over stylized and just not unique in any way anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think they did because from what I remember, with all the cereals, they did a special like retro style box art in 2013 with that re-release of Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute, and I believe the new designs for all the characters, they look more like CGI looking. They don't they're a little weird. I remember even one year I think they had a like DC artist, the comic book company DC.
They had Jim Lee. do it.
Yeah, Jim Lee, right? Yeah. They had him redesign the looks of the characters, which was interesting because it was different. Now, Grime and Dave, I'm going to get to you the same question. Out of all 5 cereals, which one is your favorite?
Well, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to go with probably Count Chocula. I think he's probably my favorite.
That's a classic pick.
Now, I'm talking like, as far as flavor and box art goes, Count Chocula from like the early 90s.
I see. So you like Count Chocula, like the original recipe, because I hear they also changed that as well.
Yeah, it's
for the new,
completely different.
They did that with all. I think they do that with all cereals now. The recipes there's a lot less bullshit. Ingredients in the cereal now. Dave, what about you?
So I'm a big cereal fan. Like I love snacking on cereal. If I snack on anything throughout the day, it's cereal. So I personally, I'm going to have to agree with Grimes, is that I love Count Chocula. I think it's the best tasting out of all of them. Especially the character itself, I think is cooler too than all the other characters. I also really enjoy, so the 2 flavors, my go-tos during Halloween season, I always buy a box of each, is Count Chocula and Blueberry. So those 2 are my absolute favorites. Now, I'm not sure what it's like in other demographics or other regions of the United States, but being in the New York area, at least, that's exclusive to Targets, the monster cereals. Like, they always get Targets were the only ones that got the old school remake boxes. You couldn't get them at Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
So I have all 5. I remember I bought a box of each.
Me too.
And I still have them, and they're in the basement. And they're awesome. And again, this goes back to what we were talking about with re-releasing the Happy Meal, the Halloween Happy Meals. We went out of our way to go get those boxes. I mean, granted, they're only like $3 a box, but that this is something that Halloween fanatics are going to do.
They could have been $20 a box. Me and you and Louie, we would have gotten them either way. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yep.
Regardless.
Like, you put a new picture of Count Chocula on the box. Well, I'm going to buy this.
Count Chocula, number 1. Number 2 is Blueberry.
So for me, and this is going to go back to the 2 discontinued cereals. All right, so before Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute were re-released a few years ago, when the original 3 were always available, because I think before 2013, you were able to find the original 3 on shelves. I'd always be just like you guys. I'd go with Count Chocula and Blueberry. Those are probably the 2 I like. Frankenberry's at the bottom of the list. I do like Frankenberry, but he is at the bottom of the list. Now, I was really excited because when I was a kid, I remember Yummy Mummy being on the shelves at the supermarket. I was very young, though. I was probably like 5. And I remember loving Yummy Mummy. I remember getting it a few times and really enjoying it. And like when I was a kid, dude, a box of cereal would last like 2 days because I loved sugary shit. So like sugary cereals was like that was like my shit. Like that's all I would eat it all the time, and like I'd eat it dry with milk, yada yada yada. But and again, when the Yummy Mummy Fruit Brute re-release happened, I was a grown-ass man already. When I tried that new version of Yummy Mummy, dude, it was so good. I remember going back and buying like 3 boxes of Yummy. No, like 3 boxes, dude. Not even 1. 3 boxes of Yummy Mummy because of how good it was. Between the 2 discontinued cereals, I'm going to lean more towards Yummy Mummy. And honestly, out of all the monster cereals, I think Yummy Mummy is now my favorite. Just, dude, I'm a sucker for like cream flavored things and like creamsicle. Like I remember loving like those orange Julius things and all the creamsicle. Like the orange bar with the vanilla in the inside. So like that flavor in general is one of my favorite things of all time. So the fact that I can't get Yummy Mummy now, it's depressing, you know. And
so you like all the shit grandparents like. Grandpa Lou over here.
It's funny, too, because I prefer the new version because the original version, there was no cream flavor. It was just like fruity cereal. Fruit Brute was, if I remember correctly, the Fruit Brute was a fruity cereal with a lime marshmallow. That's what I read online. But again, I wasn't around when that cereal was on shelves. But the new version is just like a fruity cereal. So it's kind of boring, and that's why I'm leaning more towards Yummy Mummy. And I just don't understand why they don't bring them back. You know, like they don't do anything. They haven't done anything special the last few years with the cereal. I think the last thing they did was that art from the DC artist. I think that was the last thing they ever did that was new. But they haven't brought back Yummy Mummy or Fruit Brute. I just don't understand why. Like, you only release these cereals in October. Mm-hmm. Why not just release all 5? It makes no sense to me. I don't get why they don't do it.
I don't know if you looked this up or anything, and I apologize if you have this like in your notes or something. Speaking of bringing back all 5, they actually are bringing back all 5 for 2021.
Amazing.
Oh.
But it's
amazing.
One box though, and it's called Monster Mash cereal.
Oh, so they're mixing them all up into one box?
All 5.
I'll still get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna buy 16 of them, like immediately tomorrow.
You know what's funny? I did that when I had all 5. I think I was in my old apartment, and I remember on top of my fridge I had all the boxes lined up. And I think one day I was just home one like night, and I was bored, and I just kind of mixed all the cereals together. And honestly, dude, it tastes amazing. It was fucking great.
I did something similar to that. A friend of mine actually, you know, Halloween is like stuff comes out for Halloween, and then they start putting Christmas bullshit on shelves. Well, he mentioned that putting eggnog in your cereal is a good idea. So I was like, okay, I guess I have to try this. So I mixed what was it? Frankenberry and Blueberry together, and vanilla eggnog in cereal.
That sounds amazing.
It wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad at all. I would do it again.
I have a story for you, and because you brought up eggnog, it is very important to my story that happened today. So on my sanitation route, we have a woman that always comes out and talks to us, says hello, and we call her Abuela. That's her nickname we give her, and she loves it. And she's always giving us snacks, food. This woman goes grocery shopping like 7 times a week. So she'll always flag us down, and she's like, whatever I have in my car, you guys can have. So today, she flags us down on our route, and she's got shredded cheese, yogurts, Jello packets. She goes, whatever you want, you can have. So she gives my work partner a box of I forgot what cereal it was. I think it was Frosted Mini Wheats. And she goes, I got eggnog. And I'm like, I will take that eggnog, please. So I got a container of eggnog today on my sanitation route. And I was so fucking happy about it. And I also got a box of Fruit Loops with marshmallows, which I was also very excited about. So I had to add that in there because it's just too coincidental to not bring up me getting a thing of eggnog today.
You know what you got to do now, right, Dave? You have to mix that eggnog.
I gotta have cereal with fucking eggnog. Yeah, I know.
You gotta give it. You gotta report back and let us know what you think.
I absolutely will. I will pour a touch of eggnog with a little bit of Fruit Loops just to see what it tastes like, because I'm sure it's fucking amazing.
It's a game changer.
I believe it.
But yeah, going back to the cereals, what's funny is like the mascots. You find them on merch. Like I think there's like a Monster Mash card game or board game. I actually want to buy it because I want to review it in the future. And all the mascots are on them. All 5 of them are on them. So it's just interesting that they don't bring them back. I don't get it. And Grimy, the fact that you told me they're gonna bring them back, but all mixed up, like, come on, guys, just release them individually as well.
Right?
You know, we'll all appreciate it. I just don't get it. But here's hoping maybe, in addition to the Monster Mash mix-up of all of them in one box, they'll bring back the individual packets as well.
The Halloween Choco potatoes, and this is specifically the Halloween Witch potato, and it comes with, when you buy it in Japan, you get your fries, and then you get this 2 sauces. One is chocolate, and the other one is purple sweet potato.
Now, my pick is something that I've never had before. It's something I have no emotional attachment to, no nostalgic attachment to. It's something that strictly just piqued my interest. And it is also a McDonald's item, but it is a McDonald's Japan item, which is the McDonald's Japan Choco Potato. It was a limited edition release in 2016 in celebration of McDonald's existence in Japan for 45 years. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So essentially, all this was just a container of fries, and a sauce. I'm using air quotations here. 2 sauces, I should say. A purple sauce and an orange sauce. And I'm just going to say this. Purple and orange to me is a classic Halloween color combination. So right off the bat, you already got me. So the box is a simple white box, and it has a backsplash of purple with an orange jack-o'-lantern that is oversized, and it actually kind of drips off of the package onto the flap, which I love as an aesthetic, because I think that's just a really cool design choice. And on the bottom right of the jack-o'-lantern is a silhouette of a witch on a broomstick. So, again, talking about branding, this is something that's already speaking to me. So I don't even need to try this to know that I'm going to try this, just off of how it's presented. So, accompanied with the box is the typical French fry container that we all know, and the sauces. So the packaging of the sauces looks like a slightly bigger version of the barbecue sauce container, and on this packaging, it has a split of orange and white, and on the bottom left is a jack-o'-lantern with its mouth cut off. and it's complete with what seems to be Japanese directions or writing, and that's something that I've always loved as a design and aesthetic use. So if anybody that's ever purchased a record or a tape, there's something called an obi strip, and an obi strip is basically just kind of like this hype information sticker thing that goes across the spine of the record. It's just an aesthetic. It's really fucking cool looking, and that's kind of the vibe that I get with the way they were branding this. And again, this is a Japanese thing, so this is probably just something that's a more go-to than it is in the States overall, because there are records that will come out over here that do replicate obi strips that were like a Japanese release of something. So it's definitely an aesthetic choice. The actual design mechanism of the package is also really well thought out and really fucking cool. What you do is you bend the top of the package up, and then they have these little lines, these little slits that crisscross, and you just squeeze them, and it simultaneously drips out each color in orange, purple. And that's how you put it on the French fries. And it's just like I said, this is more of a design thing for me than even wanting to try it. It's just a really well thought out branding. And I as a photographer, and I don't even do that kind of like photography shit, but like I always pay attention to branding and stuff, and this is like really, really well done. So it's just cool. It's just, to me, it's like just the genius idea of the way like you see it. And there's a video, and maybe we can do it. We can take a clip of the video of what I watched and put it on Instagram just so people can see it, because it's really awesome. So from what I understand, this was the first and last time they did this. I'm not entirely sure if it didn't do well, but I know it's not offered anymore. So it's certainly discontinued. This is something I would 1000% try. From what I understand, it's just sweet and savory. I'm a sweet and savory person. I know that's not everybody's thing, but it's just like a sweet sauce on a potato. To me, it's not that crazy to try. But how do you guys feel about that?
Me
Is
personally,
this something you would try?
Me personally, I would. I want to try it like yesterday. I actually started looking up recipes right away to see if there was some way to remake this, but I haven't found anything.
I would.
I've also put all kinds of eBay saved searches in to see if anything ever pops up. If I find at least 3 of these goddamn sauce packets, I'm going to try this. I don't care how expired they are.
Dude, I would, and the thing is, I would buy one of those sauce packets as well, just to have, because like I said, if you look at the design, and we're going to post pictures up of it, it's awesome. And it's so minimal, and it's just really cool, and I know I keep dropping this word, aesthetically, it's just so
Oh, you're
cool.
not wrong.
Lou, what about you?
So the flavor of the sauce is what, chocolate, or is it other flavors?
No, so what the videos that I've watched, it's like a vanilla custardy, almost like a donut frosting kind of sauce, and that's kind of what I kind of just assumed what it tasted like anyway. So,
See, the concept of putting something sweet on French fries doesn't appeal to me personally. Like, I don't think there's because all right, this is gonna be weird too. This is a fun fact about Louis. I don't like ketchup. I'm not a ketchup guy. So like,
I mean, I'm not a huge ketchup fan either. It's not that weird.
Like, I never dip my fries in ketchup because I just don't like.
That's fair.
I just don't like it. I just don't like the sweetness of it, the vinegariness of it on my fries. But I love barbecue sauce, which is kind of a contradiction.
Same. I was just gonna say I prefer barbecue sauce than
it makes no sense.
Than,
it makes no sense that I like barbecue sauce but don't like ketchup. I also love hot sauce, which I feel you could put that on everything. I put that on salads, fries, whatever. But with this specifically, I'd probably like try one fry with a little bit of the sauce drizzled on top of it. But I don't think I'd be able to crush like an entire packet. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Frosty and fries kind of guy. So this is like, I don't know. This is second nature to me right here. I would devour this in a second.
That's like a really popular thing, the whole Frosty and fries things. I remember when I was a kid, always people would tell me like that Frosties are made of potatoes. I don't know if you guys ever heard that urban legend that like there's potato in a Frosty. Maybe that was just weird fucking kids at my school.
Speaking of urban legends and Frosties, I had heard that the milkshakes from McDonald's were made with edible plastic. That was always the that was always the lore around these parts over here in Long Island was the milkshakes were made of fucking edible plastic.
Oh yeah, we ate them things up anyways.
Delicious.
Bless that edible plastic.
It's cool too because Japan gets all like the weird cool shit too, and like they've had like a Halloween like explosion over there because I don't think it was popular necessarily like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and like over the last few years they have like haunted houses, haunted attractions, these weird like food things where there's like junk food in the shape of like a pumpkin filled with some shit, like, you know. So it's cool that they do that stuff, and I don't know why we don't get shit like that. Like, I don't understand why you can't get this sauce potato French fry thing here. It just blows my mind that I feel like people would buy it.
And the thing is though, it could be easily done. It's not even like this is something that's you know, that's just so different and groundbreaking. It literally could be done. I could go off the block right now and get McDonald's and a thing of fucking frosting at Stop and Shop and try this.
For sure.
But you need that. It's that experience. And listen, this is a great way. This is a great way to encompass everything that we're talking about right now. It's the experience of getting it all branded with Halloween aesthetic. So we're getting cereal that's branded with monsters, which is easily related to Halloween. We're getting Happy Meals that are coming in witch pails, that are coming in pumpkin pails, that are coming in ghost pails. We're getting French fries and sweet sauce that is coming in a really fucking cool jack-o'-lantern box and jack-o'-lantern box sauce. So when you think about it, all this stuff is a experience, if you will. Would you agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. I collect packaging. I'm a packaging nut, and I don't care if the item tastes like shit or if it tastes amazing. I want the box just to have it sit next to other boxes that collect dust.
I know that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And this, the French fries box is amazing. Like, I can't help but notice the like little similarities in the pumpkin and like the original Halloween pails from McDonald's. Like the mouth, especially, is like almost the exact same shape.
Yeah, again, I just don't get why. At least bring the goddamn packaging here. put the fries in that, or
man.
You know, I don't eat McDonald's, but it'd be cool to just see like a kid eating like nuggets and like holding this like cool packaging. I'm like, that kid's gonna remember that packaging in 20 years when it doesn't exist anymore, and he'll be creating the same type of memories we create. And yeah, just bring that shit back, McDonald's. Stop playing games.
Bring it back.
You know, it doesn't taste bad at all. It is a little bit weird. I've never had a sweet version of McDonald's French fries before. And it's kind of reminiscent of donuts. The chocolate sauce tastes just like the chocolate that you would find on a chocolate bar or a chocolate glazed donut.
All right, guys. So, at this point, we have Halloween Happy Meals. We have Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute. And we've got the Japanese, what is it? Sauce.
Choco potato.
Choco potato. Look at that. I can't even pronounce it. So I'm going to ask each of you, between the three, which do you wish came back so you could enjoy it? Grammy, I'm going to start with you. Out of the three, which do you want to come back?
It's a tough one, man. I guess from looking at it this way, I wouldn't mind seeing the French fries come back, purely because I've never got the experience. Like I would love to be able to get that experience. I mean, I guess it would be easy to say like I definitely want the Pails to come back. I do. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see all three of these things come back, but like, and to be able to experience Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy, like I've never eaten either of those cereals, but yeah, definitely the French fries. I'd love to see that one come around here, especially.
Yeah, we have to get it first. Right? So you're going with is it called the Choco fries? Is that how you pronounce it, Dave?
Choco potato.
Choco potato. So Grimey's going with the Choco potato. Dave, what are you going with out of the three?
You know, I originally thought I was going to go with the same thing. I actually love the way Grimes described that he wants to have that experience. I didn't even think of it like that.
Right on.
But I have to be honest with you. I would love to relive an experience that I can't fully remember, and I would actually go with the Happy Meal.
Whoa, the Happy Meal.
Yep. I want to remember that experience. Like I said, it's very blurry, and I know it's a good one, and I would love to re-experience that. I really would.
I don't eat McDonald's at all. Like, I really don't. I think the last thing I got was pancakes from there. McDonald's isn't my thing. But I'm going to agree with Dave. And Grimy, your pick, the Halloween Happy Meals. Bring those back.
Thanks.
you filling me in with that info that we're kind of getting back. We're getting Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute back in some form. I'm like, all right, that's actually going to happen. But Happy Meals existing, Halloween Happy Meals specifically existing, is definitely a really cool thing that should happen simply because of, again, the Pails and the toys, and just seeing those Pails everywhere would be amazing again. Just to see them.
The experience.
And the experience, I agree. The experience. Again, I'd go into a McDonald's in 2021. I'd buy a Happy Meal, give it to someone else just so I can keep the Pail. I don't even want the food. But just to be able, just to see those around again, and to see the Halloween designs on McDonald's packaging in general would just be great. So I'm going to go with the Halloween Happy Meals. Grimy, your pick won. It won the battle.
Right on. It's crazy. I wasn't expecting that at all.
A lot of love from two dudes who don't really eat McDonald's going towards McDonald's.
I really don't eat McDonald's at all often, so I'm right there with you.
If I ever get it, it's the breakfast, and that's like a super cheat day for me, is if I have the breakfast, just because the breakfast is fucking good. So I'll just leave it at that.
We've all given up on McDonald's, but we want those Pails to come back.
Cool costume, Ronald.
Show off.
But the McNugget buddies need costumes too.
We don't want to be chicken on Halloween.
May I? You wanna be frightened, wanna be scary, wanna be something wildly hairy.
But you don't wanna be chicken on Halloween.
Be anything you want,
Anything you dare.
it all depends on what you wear.
Twins.
But you don't wanna be chicken on Halloween.
Now you tell me.
Magic.
So that was some discontinued Halloween junk food. Grimy, thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Let people know where they can find you.
So you can catch me on Instagram, Optimus Grime 814. That's Optimus_Grime 814. And also, if you want to check out It's Dem Boys on Instagram, I'll have a new article up soon talking about some old Nickelodeon bumpers here in a few days, if you're into that. This month, added to that on the 27th is Pokemon's 25th anniversary, so tune into the Dem Boys Instagram as well as itsdemboys.com for a few words about Pokemon if you're into that.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Haunted Hangover.
And if you can rate and review us, that'd be greatly appreciated.
And remember, the best cure for a hangover is
More booze.
Later, guys.